The first item on the agenda is the icebreaker, and Doreen has just started recording the session. Kindly take note of that, that we are recording this session going forward. Then I'll come in next with the event overview and the project overview. And then thereafter, I'll introduce my colleague Anthony to take us through the Atingi courses and also how to enroll on that platform, the Atingi. Next, I'll have Doreen introduce the speakers of the day and lead the panel discussion and also wrap up with the panelists. And after that, we'll take on the Q&A, the questions and answers. And after that, we can call it a day then we'll have closing remarks from one of representative from DOT. So thank you so much. That is the brief agenda for the day. And I'll jump into the project overview. Yeah, so I'm thrilled to have this opportunity to present to you the project aimed at empowering gig workers in Kenya. And this initiative is particularly significant given that there's that growing importance of gig workers here in Kenya, offering flexible employment opportunities to our youth, women, and the society. So this project, first, let me acknowledge that it has been made possible through the generous support of GIZ and their commitment to sustainable development and human-centered design and digital economy has been instrumental in bringing this project to life. First, I will break down the project into two parts. We have two components, one of them being that we are requesting that we have our participants go through the Atingi courses. And secondly, we'll also require that they go through the mentorship and peer learning programs. So under the Atingi courses, I'm not going to touch a lot on that because I'll have Anthony coming in to give us the specifics of the Atingi courses and delve deeper into the content and the structure of these courses. Then I mentioned that we'll have mentorship and peer learning programs. I want to highlight these, that we will be recruiting 50 experienced mentors who will guide gig workers through various aspects of their careers. Now, I'm sure one of you is asking, who are the gig workers? Gig workers, I'm sure it's a term maybe you have come across, but in a different way. Gig workers are online freelancers, web designers, graphic designers, and the likes. And this platform has been an upcoming economy platform in the economy, and most of our young people are engaging in these activities. And so the mentors will offer personalized advice, share industry insights, and help the gig workers navigate the challenges that they may face. Now, we would also want that the mentorship be curated in a way so that we promote peer learning groups where gig workers can share experiences and learn from each other. And these groups will be facilitated by our mentors, and they will focus on the specific topics, provide a structured yet flexible learning environment for all the mentees. In summary, we believe that combining the structured education, the courses from Atingi, and a curriculum that we have gone through as DOT trainers, dubbed OFT, online freelance training, together with the peer support we can make a significant impact on the lives of gig workers in Kenya. And our goal is to create that sustainable model that can be scaled up and create a lasting impact in the gig economy. That is just a brief overview of the project. And I want to give this opportunity to my colleague, Anthony, so that he can take us through the Atingi courses and how to enroll. Thank you. Doreen?
Thank you so much, Lucy. Over to you, Anthony. Please take us through the Atingi courses very briefly.
Thank you, Doreen. Thank you, Lucy, for that. Thank you, everyone, for creating time to join. Please allow me to share my screen. I'll try and be very brief so that we all get to know and understand what Atingi is and what it can help you with in regards to your online work. So so can you all see my screen?
Yes, Anthony, I can see your screen.
Okay, so let me just expand it. Great. So the Atingi is generally supposed to empower you as a digital worker in terms of helping you navigate the digital labor as we know it. So Atingi has very nice soft skills that are essential to anyone who is within the digital labor market, whether you are cloud-based or whether you are location-based gig worker. So the idea behind it and the vision behind it is to try and drive change and have a positive impact through inclusive, accessible, and relevant digital learning. We'll all agree that we have received some technical training in the different areas that we are in as digital labor workers, but it's also important that we share with you the soft skills that can help boost your digital work. So this is the reason why this platform called Atingi has been created together with other this platform has been created so that you could gain those, you could unlock the full potential that is very important for you and acquire some new skills that you might not get. So Atingi is a digital learning platform that is focused in providing locally relevant learning opportunities to address critical employment educational skills, a skills gap in emerging markets, including digital labor market. So I will show you a brief on how you can register to Atingi, how it looks like, the landing page and all that. But for now, please allow me to just take you through some of the courses that could be very important to you as a digital labor user or a digital gig worker, so that you can see some of the essential things that are within there. So first of all, I know if you are a beginner in the digital field, you might be struggling in navigating where do you get job, how do you get job, how do you probably bid for work? If you bid for work, what is the next step that you should be taking? So one of the course bundles within the Atingi is on navigating the gig economy, so that you can have that foundational understanding. So under this course bundle, you'll get 3 courses. One of them is an introduction to navigating the gig economy, where you'll get to learn on what digital labor platforms are, what are the available digital labor platforms, both locally and internationally, and then how to just navigate the challenges that are there that gig workers face, and have practical insights as a gig worker on how you can thrive in the dynamic world of online work. And then the second course that is extremely important is on understanding fair working condition. I say extremely because we as gig workers, we fight for decent work and fair working conditions. As we continue to do that, we would like to join hands as a union so that we bargain for decent work. So this course will help you have insights on what are some of the conditions of fair work within the gig economy, and explore some concepts in minimum wage, understanding contracts as an online worker, and just how to build a social security as a gig worker. And then thirdly, within that bundle is on maximizing the potential of women in gig work. There's a very low intake of gig work, more so for women. So this is because of some socioeconomic challenges that women face. So if you are a woman joining us today, this is a course that is particularly created for you, so that you can see how to navigate the different challenges that you face as a woman, and how you can occupy your space within the gig economy market, and just understanding the unique challenges and rights, including entitlements that you have as a woman within the digital labor platforms. And then secondly, the second bundle within the Atingi is what we call the skills trio. Under the skills trio, you will find 3 important courses. One is on essential financial literacy for gig workers. You will agree with me that as gig workers, there's money that comes. Sometimes is a lot, sometimes there's work, sometimes there's no work. So there are those different characteristics that are there within the digital labor platforms. So you need to understand how you can budget your money when you get it. So this first course is very essential for you to understand issues to do with budgeting. There are some platforms that will require you to send invoice. How do you create an invoice? Another thing that is very important is on taxation. What are some of the taxes that affect you as a gig worker? How are you supposed to, maneuver issues of tax and the tax rules around issues of taxation, and then how to just generally manage your cash flow. Do not worry, this course as well will give you templates that you can download. These templates are free, just to help you do budgeting and invoicing and things like that. And then the second course is of essential soft skills for gig workers. By essential soft skills, I mean things to do with customer service and personal growth. So in terms of having effective communication techniques, how do you manage communication? Remember, the platforms that we use are just conveyors. They are not the owners of the work. They mitigate, they are the bridge between us and our clients. So you need to understand how you talk to your client on these platforms. There are conflicts that arise from the work that you do online. How can you conflict resolute, and just have a general confidence in building strategies that will help you in your gig work. And then thirdly, digital skills that are crucial for thriving in the digital economy. We learn things to do with data literacy. It is very important that you know how to handle the data that you are given by a client. You understand what are the uses of the data that you provide in the platform that you are using. And then again on online communication, and then you will get essential skills on digital content creation. There's a lot of monetization that are going on with the different social media platforms that require you to do content. There are some platforms that would require you to use your content creation skills. How do you do that? And there's also issues of online safety. How do you sieve out platforms that have, frauds? How do you identify issues of fraud and things like that? How do you avoid being taken advantage of online, and many more. And then the next bundle, the final bundle, within the Atingi for specifically for gig workers is on skills trio. Is on skills for location-based platform users. And by location-based platform users, I would give an example of taxi hailing and delivery services gig workers. So these are courses that are specifically meant for them. The manner in which they deal with their finances would be a little bit different with how cloud-based workers deal with their finances. So there's a course that is created for them to just understand how they could budget and manage their financial services. And then there's a course that is meant for riders, again, for in terms of digital literacy. How do you use the internet to get work, cell phone etiquette, and things like that. And then there's a course on customer or service orientation, just to how to communicate with your customers, how to keep your customers, where do you get those customers from, and just the fundamentals of good customer service. And lastly, because most of riders and delivery use road, and so there's a course there just to take you through some of the basic road safety measures that are there for riders. So those are the three main bundles that are there within the Atingi. So I'm sure some of us are still wondering how the Atingi looks like. So let me just show you briefly how the Atingi looks like. So just a minute. Sorry. I'm trying to. So allow me again to share my screen so that I give you a practical so when you log in to Google, you can go to Google, for example, and once you are on Google, all you need to do is to search Atingi, that is ATINGI, and then you search. So you will get links to the Atingi. So you can click on the first one. Sorry. So the first link will land you to this page. This is the landing page to the Atingi. So there are several courses, as I have mentioned, within this platform. But the first thing you need to do before you access these courses, please make sure, if you can see my cursor, make sure to register. If you click on the registration link, so the registration is very easy. The language preference is already pre-selected in English, and then all you need to do is to put in your email. Once you put in your email address and then read the data privacy terms, if you agree with the data privacy terms, please check in this box and go to next. So once you go to the next icon, you will be there's a link that will be sent to your email that you've used to register with. So that link, please follow it. You will be able to input your password. Once you input your password, now you'll be able to access all the courses that are in here. As you can see, there are a lot of courses within Atingi that you can benefit from. But if you want specific links that leads to the ones that I've shown you, there's a link that Doreen or I is going to share with you in the chat box. Please you will see a description of all the courses that I've talked about, that I've presented on. Please select any of them that interests you, do them, interact with the courses. There's a certificate that you will see or will be issued with at the end of each and every course. If you need support in registering, in getting the courses, please feel free to reach out to us. We'll be available to support. Thank you, Doreen.
Thank you so much, Anthony, for taking us through Atingi and how we can sign up there. In case you're wondering, why do we need to look at the Atingi courses? As you all know, today's session is aimed to give you or provide you information with essential skills that will help you thrive as a gig worker in the gig economy. So we want to ensure that we're not just providing information or useful information for you, but we're also providing you or sharing the tools, the right tools that you can explore these courses on. So at this point, let's get right into the session. I want to acknowledge our speakers, Egline and Bundi. Karibuni sana. And yeah, just take it on. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do as a gig work expert, and your background. I'll start with you, Egline. Karibu.
Okay, thank you so much, Doreen. I hope you can hear me. Okay, thank you so much, Doreen. Thank you, DOT, for this opportunity. My name is Egline Samoei. I'm a digital marketer by profession. So what I do, I help brands tap into the power of a digital platform to grow their businesses and also make revenue. So besides that, so I'm more of a gig worker because I do, it's more of project-based or freelance, in most cases, freelance or project-based opportunities. So other than that, I'm also a tutor for the digital marketing course at a college called Simon Page College of Marketing here in Nairobi, Kenya. And I also do corporate trainings for I do corporate trainings to help businesses upskill or learn more what they need to do and tap into the latest technologies within the digital platforms. So essentially, I can say the gig economy or the freelance, I've been into it more than 10 years. So started back in 2014. So I'm quite experienced in that, and I'll be giving you a few tips or more tips on how to survive the gig economy if you are getting started, or maybe you need more knowledge on that. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Egline. Over to you, Bundi. Please tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. My name is Teresios Bundi. I am the Gig and Data Economy Advisor at the DTC, within GIZ. So my work focuses on understanding and shaping the future of work in the digital age, particularly in the gig and data economies. I'm particularly passionate about gig work and digital economy in general, and also leveraging technology to create inclusive and sustainable economic opportunities for all. And that's why when this opportunity came, I was really excited, and it's a very good discussion that we're having. At the core of it all, I'm also a gig worker. I've been working online for the last 10 years, having worked on platforms such as Upwork and Fiverr and other platforms. Thank you. Over to you, Doreen.
Thanks, Bundi. I think from just listening to your introductions, you both clearly are experts in this field. You, as well as Egline, have 10 plus years of experience in the gig economy. I want you to take us through your understanding of the gig economy, and I will start with you, Bundi.
Yeah, that's a very nice question, Doreen. So many people really misunderstand the gig economy, and I think it's a good time for us to demystify some of the stereotypes that exist out there. So gig economy is a labor market that is ideally characterized by prevalence of short-term contracts, or in other words, freelance work, as opposed to the traditional permanent jobs. So and it is characterized by flexible work arrangements whereby a client and a freelancer will agree on what time work hours they want to choose, the location they want to work in, and also the project they want to work on. It includes a diverse range of services, and it can encompass location-based gig work such as Uber and Bolt riders. There are those that do creative work like graphic design and writing, including even professional services like accounting, consulting, all that can be categorized as gig work. And mostly it's mediated through digital platforms, online platforms such as Fiverr, Upwork. These are the platforms that connect the clients and the gig workers. And maybe the last point to this is that gig workers are independent contractors. They are not employees. They are not so they are responsible for paying their own taxes and also their own benefits. That's the long and short version of what I understand gig work is all about.
Thank you. Egline, take us through your understanding of the gig economy from your experience.
Okay, thank you so much, Doreen. I think Bundi has explained pretty much almost everything that entails gig economy. But in my, maybe just to put it in another perspective, I would say it is a system centered towards, let's say, freelance or short-term based projects, as opposed to working from a 9 to 9 or 8 to 5, 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 job. So for the gig economy, it's more flexible when it comes to time. So since you are able even to work with an international organization or a companies overseas, the time is more flexible, so you can choose on the time you want to work. So for some people, you'll find even they are working in the midnight, some are working in the evening, because when it's a project based, you can be having several jobs at once. So maybe you are working with maybe two clients at a go, because you have that flexibility. And for this kind of job, you will not be having those benefits, such as in most situations, you'll not be having those benefits, maybe such as health insurance, compared to the someone who is at 9 to 5 job. So that's why learning about gig economy, what it entails, so that you can be able to plan yourself when it comes to finances, when it comes to time management. You are the one, since you're, and also with the gig economy, you're the boss, you're the one bidding, you're the one if it is, you're the one seeking for these jobs, you're the one applying, so you are your own boss, and it comes with a lot of responsibility and discipline. So that's what I can add.
Thank you, Egline and Bundi, for taking us through your understanding of the gig economy. You've touched on characteristics of gig economy, or rather what defines the gig economy. You've taken us through it being a short term. You've talked about gig workers being independent. You've also mentioned some of the platforms that gig workers can access gig work, like Fiverr and Upwork. And Egline, you've definitely touched on benefits. So let's talk about the essential skills that gig workers require to thrive in the gig economy. What are some of these skills? Egline, to you.
Okay, thank you. When it comes to gig economy, there are a lot of skills that you need as an individual. So first is getting started with the technical skill or the specific skill. So for instance, in my situation, if I'm a digital marketer, I need to enhance myself with the digital marketing skills. So what does that entail? So I need to understand the social media platforms, how they work, how I can market businesses on the social media platforms. I need to understand email marketing. I need to understand how to design a website. I need to know how to manage a website. I need to know how to write clients for articles for clients. I will need to know how to even understanding the algorithms of these digital platforms. So what I'm trying to say is understanding the skill that you want. If you are a virtual assistant, so you should equip yourself first with those skills. If you want to be a virtual assistant, if you want to be a designer, if you want to be, name them. So all those kind of skills. So first at it all, you have to acquire the skill. So it is very important to have the technical skill of what you need to do. So once after having now the skill that you need, it's time to build your online presence or to build your portfolio. So at first, maybe when you're starting out, you could be taking up it's good to have a good polished CV. If it is the LinkedIn, have a LinkedIn profile, ensure it speaks to what you want to do. So if I'm a digital marketer, I should have revamped my LinkedIn. If you have, even if in some cases you might even need to have a website for you to be showcasing your skills, your portfolio for the projects that you've been doing. If you have been creating websites, you will need to have a portfolio so that people can see what you are doing. Because I cannot just come and tell you, Doreen, I'm a digital marketer, this is what I can do, this and this, without seeing. So you see, when I show you that this is the project, we had a project, for instance, if I can say, I had a project with a certain organization, this is what we did, this is what we achieved, this was the social media campaign that we had, this is what we achieved, showing you the analytics, it will speak more into the confidence, and you will likely hire me. Even when you are pitching online or when you're writing proposal, that is very important. So having your profile online. So as a gig worker, you need to have your online presence. It is very important. And when it comes to the digital platforms, how you use is very important. So you just don't have to, because at this point you are a personal brand. The way businesses and brands brand themselves on the digital platform is the same case for you as a gig worker. You need to brand yourself. If you are a virtual assistant, let people know you are the go-to person. If you're using a platform like X to build your brand, you should be talking more, or it should speak into what you are doing or what you want to intend to do. Then now have a presence on those platforms. If it is Fiverr, if it is Upwork, LinkedIn also has the jobs platform. So you need to also understand which platform favors what you do. So if it is now for me, the content, if I want to focus more on content marketing, I'll focus maybe Upwork, I'll do Contently, or even look at LinkedIn, because you can be able to filter jobs based on remote jobs or part-time. So those are the things you do. And even as you do it, even if it's a social media platforms, simple as a thing like WhatsApp status, you can even tell people what you do. Sometimes what we fail to do as gig workers is not telling people what you do. So if you have contacts of people within your network, when you share that, brand yourself well, and you communicate even through the status, when someone gets the opportunity or has a job, they will contact you and say, oh, I know Doreen, I know Anthony normally does this job and that. So personal branding, how you communicate your job, is very important. Then also the element of having the soft skills, knowing how to communicate. So be it verbally, because at some point you will have to have sessions, maybe interviews online. So you need to know how to communicate to show or to demonstrate that you have the skill, and you have the skill and you can deliver. When it comes to the written communication, you should be really good at it, so that you can be able to send emails, you can be able to respond to messages in a manner that is respectful, and it shows professionalism. So besides that, also having the digital literacy skills, how to navigate these platforms, knowing how to use tools such as Zoom. So in some experiences, you will even notice someone doesn't know how to use these video conferencing tools. So whereby you don't know how to mute, in fact, I think the most common issue that I normally see is situation where someone doesn't even know how to share their screen. So those are some of the simple but important things that you need to do. So even you could even be an influencer, and in some situation you may need to host a space on a platform like Twitter or LinkedIn. So how do you use Twitter X or the X Spaces? How do you use the LinkedIn event? Do you know how to use those platforms? So depending on the kind of work you're doing, ensure you know the tools that you need to use and know how to communicate through those platforms. So I think generally those are you need to know the technical skills, the soft skills, the digital literacy skills. Yeah, thank you.
Very insightful, Egline, a very important point that you raised there. I think usually, and this is something I came to learn recently when we had another virtual session where we had our participants having issues with sharing their screens. So it is important, like you're saying, and just understanding the digital tools that you're interacting with. How do you use that? How do you mute? How do you share your screen? How do you record and all that? So thank you for sharing those insights with us. And I think something else that has stood out for me is personal branding, and just understanding that what kind of gig worker do you want to be? I mean, it's okay to explore multiple things, but it is also important that you stand out. People know you or recognize you as a virtual assistant, as a freelance writer, or when people see you, what do they really know about you? So thank you so much for those insights. Yeah, to you, Bundi, take us through some of the essential skills that are required to thrive in the gig economy.
Yeah, I mean, thank you, Doreen, and Glenn has really covered the ground here. There are many skills, ideally, that gig worker needs to have. Most of the time is the technical skills, but over and above the technical skills, I think I can mention three also very key important skills that a gig worker should have. And one of them is the soft skills. Just small things like how you manage your time is crucial. I mean, it's very important as a gig worker to be able to have these soft skills, communication and interpersonal skills. How you are able to build that rapport with your clients, and also being able to network very well with other professionals. Generally, the soft skills play almost 40% of all the skills that you will need to be successful as a gig worker. While technical skills might take maybe the lion's share of 60%, that will not land you to many jobs. But you need all these most of the time taken for granted skills that are very important as a gig worker. How well are you able to adapt to the changing or the dynamism of the gig economy? Because gig economy is constantly evolving, so the ability to adapt to new technologies, new tools, new platforms, the market demands, that is very crucial for a gig worker to stay competitive. Then the second category of skills which I would like maybe to also highlight is the financial skills. You need to have proper financial literacy, understand the basic financial concepts like budgeting. You need to know how to save, how to do your tax management. And so all these are very crucial for a gig worker who often have a very inconsistent income or very variable income. You also need to like understand how to negotiate and price your work. So like how do you set fair prices? How do you negotiate with clients, and how do you also manage invoices? Those are very essential for you to be able to earn a sustainable income. And finally, maybe I can also mention another category, which is the digital skills. Of course, my colleague here, Glenn, has also mentioned quite extensively about the digital skills like digital marketing, online communication. How do you share your screen on Zoom or on Twitter Space? So these are skills that are very essential. Those digital skills for you to be able to navigate the gig economy. Over to you, Doreen.
Thanks, Bundi. I'm particularly eager to learn how to negotiate with your clients, because I know when it comes to negotiation, it can be quite tricky. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that particular section. At this point, you've taken us through some of the soft skills, financial literacy skills, and also talked about the digital skills. And I know, Egline, you've highlighted some of the things, technical skills that we need to have when it comes to navigating digital platforms. And I'm just wondering if there's anything else you can add to this. What are some of these digital skills or digital competencies that we need as gig workers to thrive in the gig economy? Over to you.
Okay, thank you so much. I also love the idea or the points that Bundi has brought up in regards to the financial literacy. It is very important. I think as a gig worker, you really need to manage your finances, because at one point, maybe you're in a good season, there's a lot of flow of jobs. The next month, it's dry. You can just get one job and you have to survive with that. So it is very important. So what I can add on that is maybe in regards to the digital skills is being able to understand the platform that you are using. So for instance, if it is a platform, let's say if it is an Upwork, so you need to understand that platform, how it works, the bidding strategies that are there, the communication methods that are there. Are you supposed to communicate with their client offline, or you are just supposed to stick within the platform? So understanding the rules of that platform is very important. Knowing their fees, what their charges, what they charge, their rates. So you can even be comparing what does this platform offer, if it is Upwork compared to people per hour, compared to freelancer, how much are they paying? You look at the fee, and then also understanding the kind of jobs that are there. So it is very important. Looking at those platforms, you understand them as a whole. So even knowing, so if they're knowing, maybe there are those projects where you have to do per hour, or is it project based only, or are they paying after maybe they'll pay you after 2 weeks, or they do monthly payments. So it will also help you in doing your budgeting. So other than that, also another thing that I can add is just exercising caution, or knowing more about digital safety, how to navigate these platforms, what content should you share, what kind of data should you share, at what point is it, maybe sometimes somebody requests too much from you, which could be a red flag. So don't maybe share things like your password, maybe in some situation, maybe it's just a recommendation that you found online, or somebody just sent you an email and requesting so much details like such, that is you may if you notice, it's not really what you should be sharing. So much details like your passwords, maybe your bank details, as well as the PIN. So you need to be very cautious when operating within the digital platforms. Also, you should be able to tell the links, because there are links that are not, maybe someone has cloned. I think there is a term for that, where it may be Upwork, but if you are keen at it, the URL is not Upwork. It will direct you to another platform that may cause you lose your account. So it is very important to know that, and also knowing, does that account is it allowed within your country? I think you saw that those situations that happened last time in the country, where maybe it's not supposed to be operating in Kenya, and you already have an account there, and then you've done the job, and then in the end you notice that account is not supposed to be operating within your country. So really understanding the platform is important, and how to keep yourself safe on the digital platforms is really vital. And I think I've seen within the Atingi courses, you also you can learn about the digital security, the cyber security as a gig worker. So I think it's one of the best places where you can kickstart if you don't know what to do. So thank you.
Thanks, Egline. Anything to add, Bundi?
Maybe the only thing I could add here is, getting to understand the right platforms for you as a gig worker is also very important, because it's good to understand the platform as Egline has mentioned, and it's very, very nice. But then also I find that most gig workers don't really know which platforms they need to work on. If you are a designer, for example, which is the most relevant platform for you, and platform proficiency is one of the key digital skills that a gig worker needs to have. Research different platforms, read their reviews, understand their fee structures and terms, and also be very cautious not to fall victim of phishing platforms and platforms that disguise as genuine. I know many people have fallen to trickery and these platforms that promise very quick get rich quick schemes and end up losing a lot of money. But then also on top added to that is digital marketing and personal branding, as Egline has mentioned. But also in addition to that is being able to understand data or analytics of how your performance has been over the years and improve from it. Over.
Thanks, Bundi. Quite insightful. And I think one of the issues you raise, and Egline as well, that is very, very important, and that I think Atingi offers this course on, the issue about online safety. I mean, they say the digital economy has given rise to a myriad of opportunities, but also given rise to challenges like, online safety issues. So yeah, thank you so much for shedding light on that. And just to reiterate some of the key points that you've talked about is understanding the platform that you want to be, or rather the platform that surrounds your area of expertise. So like you've said, Bundi, if you're a graphic designer, where can you get, gigs around graphic design? Issues to do with regulations that govern the platform. You can't just hop on a platform without knowing how does it work, how does it work, and what should you do and not do. I would like to get to the next question on financial literacy. Financial literacy is quite broad. So I would like you to take us through what are some of the particular or key competencies that a gig worker should understand when it comes to financial literacy. Bundi.
Absolutely, Doreen. You're right. Financial literacy is a cornerstone of success in the gig economy. And you have asked a very important question, like what competencies when it comes to finances does a gig worker need to have? And I'm glad that all this information is contained in the courses on Atingi, and I must at this point also mention that the courses are quite high level, and also considering that they are being offered free of charge, I think I would recommend everybody to be able to take up these courses. And one of the areas that I particularly enjoyed even learning from these courses is about income management. Gig workers often get fluctuating income. This month might not be as last month or next month. So some weeks are better, others are not so good. So as a gig worker, you need to be able to manage these fluctuations. You need to be able to know how to budget for lean times and also be able to save for the future. So one of the skill is being able to manage that income that you get. Then also tracking your income and expenses, because for you to be able to manage your income, you need to track how much are you spending, how much are you earning. It's essential to keep accurate records of the income that you are getting from your gig work, understand the cash flow that you have, and then also be able to make very informed financial decision, and also be able to file your taxes. Then also the other skill that is very important, and I find most gig workers, I also struggled with it when I was starting is invoicing and payments. Requesting the clients to release payment, you need to categorically be able to indicate what have you done and how much is it is allocated to each of the tasks, and creating very highly professional invoices will make sure that you are getting paid, and the client will not have questionable reasons as to why they are not going to pay you. So the other number three, which I would also mention, is savings and investments, because I feel like gig workers really don't proactively plan for your retirement. I'm sure you'll not be a gig worker in your 70s or 80s. You need to plan ahead, and as you know, you don't have these employer sponsored retirement plans like pension. So you need to plan very well, and also be able to invest strategically. So in that can help you as a gig worker, to be able to uh, invest and be able to avoid or even mitigate risk and diversify your income. So I mean, there are many areas when it comes to finances that we can talk about as a gig worker, including how do you inculcate a financial mindset, financial responsibility and discipline, which are very crucial for gig workers, and like making very conscious spending choices, because I know sometimes you get a lot of money as a gig worker. I was there sometimes, and you there's this tendency that I know I'll add another amount in the next gig. So you are really tempted to spend all your money. You are really taken through impulse purchases, and you don't stick to budget. So that's very common among the gig workers, and I think among the financial skills that one needs is for you to be able to understand how all this plays out, for you to be able to be successful in the gig economy.
Anything you want to add, Egline? Thanks, Bundi, for your insights.
Okay, thank you, Bundi, for what you've shared. I think what I can add when it comes to financial literacy is because he has mentioned about budgeting and tracking your expenses. So what I can add from that is nowadays we have many, if you don't know how to get started, or maybe if you don't like the traditional way of writing down what you earn per month and how you can budget that, there are always apps nowadays that can help you. The personal app, expense app management apps that can help you. And then there are many resources that you can learn besides Atingi. You can also just do online reading about budgeting, financial literacy. There are many people who do financial literacy videos on YouTube that you can learn. I think the beauty about it is we are now aware as young people. So the earlier we learn, the better, because at times when you listen to the talks where someone is being told, what do you regret that you would have done when you were younger, is someone would say managing finances or investing and making savings. So it is very important for us as young people to learn this, and which is very important. And then maybe what I can just add, within budgeting and finance, also invest in the resources that you are using. So, as a gig worker, you need to have, for instance, in my situation, I need to have a laptop, I need to have internet, I need to have a desk. So those are some of the things that will help you: investing in a good desk, investing in a good chair, investing in a good laptop, in having a charger. Those are the things that will propel you to achieve the success at work. So it is very important, as you do the budgeting and the planning, ensure that that is in your plan. Yeah, thank you.
Planning, investing, and saving. Very And speaking of planning, Egline, you've talked about some expense management apps that we can check out that can help us plan our finances. And you've also talked about generally just about, ensuring that you're not just surviving as a gig worker, but also meeting your financial goals through proper planning. So maybe you can take us through how do we ensure that we are planning accordingly? Egline, are you there?
Yes. Thank you. When it comes to planning, I think I'll go for in my own experience, what I normally do. So I'll go with I'll do monthly budgets, or I can say in some situation I know I can do quarterly, or even 6 months. So I know within this duration I'll be receiving a certain amount of money. So from there now, I think one of the essential rules I try as much as possible through the learnings that I've learned, the 50-30 rule, where now I budget on the needs. So the bills, those basic things that I really need. I'll do it at the 50%. Then there are those subscriptions that could be the hobbies, or just baby girl treatment, self-care at maybe that's the 30%, and then try as much as possible. I know it is a struggle to do the savings for some of us, but maybe for some people they just find it easy. But doing the 20% of what I'll earn monthly, I try as much as possible at least to make the savings, because once again, the gig, as Bundi had said, within the gig economy, you'll notice sometimes there is a good flow of jobs. Sometimes you may have projects, sometimes you may not. Sometimes you may get a lot of money. So you really need to do proper planning, knowing also that in planning for the future, knowing that it's not always a guarantee that you'll have that money. Then as much as in you have to save, also remember that you need to put some investment in so things like upskilling. So maybe there is a course already that I've seen, and through the projects that I've been doing, you notice there is a high demand for a certain skill. So I'll set some aside some funds, try to compare maybe the online courses that are being offered. If there is a free one, that's okay, but I'll try at least as much as possible also to invest. Maybe if it is a professional course for digital marketers, if it is a course maybe AI in content creations today, AI for digital marketers, I'll try as much as possible also to invest in that. So generally that's how I do my planning. So looking at what I earn per month, then trying to go by the 50-30 20% rule.
Thanks, Egline. And as you said, some of these resources are on YouTube. So if you're wondering what the 50-30-20 rule is, just go and type exactly that, and you will get a lot of resources and explanation on how you can go about your budgeting on that. Bundi, is there anything you'd like to share on financial planning for gig workers?
Maybe Gillian has actually covered quite a lot, and maybe the only addition that I can have on planning is being able to do income forecasting. You need to estimate to be able to estimate how much you like you can potentially earn based on historical data. I know after having done gig work for a year or so, you're able to know what are the market trends, how many projects you see as upcoming, how many long-term clients you have. And this now can help you in setting realistic financial goals and also being able to manage expectations. Then also be able to come up with expense projection. So it's also very important that based on the kind of lifestyle that you have, identify and categorize expenses. Of course, there are those that are fixed, like your rent or utilities, and those that are variable, like they vary based on time, from time to time, like marketing and travel. And this will allow you to better plan for the resources that you have available. And then also finally, contingency measures or planning. When it comes to planning your finances, always create a backup plan for those unexpected events like illnesses, like a dry spell in work, or even economic downturn. So sometimes it's very important that you have all these you have these contingency plans in place for you to be able to thrive as a gig worker. Over to you, Doreen.
Thanks, Bundi. Income forecasting. That's something I've learned today. I didn't know about that. So I'm taking that home with me. So being able to just map out what your rating has been throughout the years as a gig worker and coming up with a right rate card for yourself. Which brings me to the next question, Bundi. When we were talking about digital literacy and understanding digital platforms, you talked about things to do with rate card and negotiating. How do you ensure that you are negotiating well in a way that you're not being underpaid as a gig worker? Please take us through that. And even as you come in, Bundi, to share your insights, I like to just highlight, I see some people saying the session is very insightful. Feel free to share online, tell people what you're learning on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, whichever platform you like, tell them what you're learning, and feel free to tag us at .Kenya using the hashtag GigTalk, GigWorkersKE. Yeah, over to you, Bundi.
Thank you very much, Doreen. You raised a critical point. Designing your rate card and negotiating with clients, these are key steps to make sure that you're earning fair compensation for the work that you're providing. And you asked, like, how do you design your rate card? The first thing that you need to do is research on the market rates. Uh, be sure you are up to date with industry benchmarks, like understand the standard rates for your specific skills and experience level that you have, and then be able to utilize online resources like professional associations and even salary surveys that exist on these platforms. I saw Upwork provides such kind of surveys from time to time. And then when you do that, then conduct benchmarks, understand like how your peers are faring and how much they are earning from other countries, from neighboring countries, and then also understand platform averages, like how much can a graphic designer from Kenya who is a top rated on Upwork, how much do they earn? So like get to understand the platform averages, and this is where now data comes in, and you're able to average and averagely like see that this is the amount that freelancers are earning. And then finally also um, consider your location. So when you look at freelancers in the US, in the UK, their rates might be higher than our rates in Kenya, and this is because maybe their life, I mean the cost of living there is also high compared to the cost of living here in Kenya, and so all those factors are able to those three factors are able to help you in coming up with your rate card. And then after you have considered also those three factors, you need to calculate your costs. There are those direct costs, like what is your monthly, costs on rent, software, on laptop, or any other platform fees that you have. And then other indirect costs like marketing, whether you are doing any marketing that you will be required to do. Your insurance, maybe you also need a health insurance cover as a freelancer, and professional development and taxes. Now calculate all those as overhead costs, and then also the time investment that you're going to put in place for that kind of work, and then set your base rate. That all those factors should help you in setting up your base rate. like how much do I need to charge per project, and it could be project based, or it could also be hourly rate, like this is the amount of money I charge per hour. Or even you can have package deals, like for example on Fiverr you can have a package deal where you have maybe a basic package, an advanced package, whereby you are pricing your services based on those three criteria, whether it's hourly, project based, or even as a package. And then also remember to factor in value, experience and expertise. Adjust your rates based on your level of experience. If you start as a basic, you feel now you are getting to intermediate level, uh, adjust to that rate. And when you also get on Atingi, for example, and earn a certificate on cybersecurity, you know you have a specialized skill, yeah? And you're able to show that badge on the platform. Adjust your rate accordingly, and when you also have a proven track record over time, then you can continue to adjust your rate as you progress in your career. And then also value proposition, clearly be able to articulate the unique value that you bring to your clients, such as the time savings, the quality of work, specialized knowledge. um, and for sometimes when you have clients who are giving you very urgent orders or very urgent requests, consider also charging them premium pricing. So this is also part of the rate card. So it will also depend on how urgent is this request from the client. So consider charging premium rates for urgent projects, or rush deliveries, or even specialized expertise.
Very important points there, Bundi. I didn't know you can actually have premium rates if your client wants something urgent. So I'm clearly learning a lot. I don't know about you. I hope everyone is learning something. And if you have questions, we shall have a Q&A session coming up. My colleague Lucy will be moderating that. So keep your questions coming. We are taking notes and you'll be able to answer them then. Over to you, Egline.
Thank you, Doreen. I think Bundi has really put it out well on when it comes to crafting your red card. But what maybe I can just also add from that, or just sum it up with saying, it's important to know your worth. And in situations where you find a client, it's good to negotiate. But if you find situation where a client is underpaying you, it is just advice. It's free to say no, and it's free. It's just free and good for you and your mental health to just walk away, because sometimes you'll take up a project that you don't. It pays less. It requires you a lot of energy, a lot of work to do, and then you're being paid less. So it's not, sometimes it's not worth it. So within the gig economy, it's important to know your worth. Feel free to say no, feel free to say yes. But also when it comes to the rate card, in some situations, even if you have that ability to ask the client what's their rates, so that you can negotiate from there. If you aren't sure, maybe it's a totally a new field that you, maybe there is no, you don't have any data that you can base on. So you can, in some situation, it's even safer to approach them and ask them what is your rate, what's your budget for this, so that you can gauge from that. And also keep updating your rates, as maybe you can be doing it yearly based on the experience you earn, based on the skills that you achieve. So keep I'll not expect you to be charging the same fee in the next 5 years, or in the next years as the same fee that you are charging right now. It's very important to know your worth so that you can also grow in this space. So thank you.
Thanks, Egline. I mean, Gen Z say it's never that serious. Well, it is serious, but sometimes it's never that serious. So you can always say no. Which brings me to the next question. I mean, from our interaction and discussion, the points you've touched on majorly involves your interaction between, I mean, your communication between you and the client. So you're always in constant communication with your client or the person you're providing your services to. So what does it mean really to have good communication skills as a gig worker? To you, Egline.
Okay, thank you. So I would just define or just say communications is how you express yourself, be it in written, be it verbally, even non-verbal cues. So non-verbal cues, things like smiling, nodding, all those it is really a factor when it comes to any job or just like the gig economy. It is very important to put to be able to communicate. So be it in written, be it in written and verbally. So as a gig worker, if you will notice, in most cases you have to be online because you are not there because you are not there with the client. So it's always good to be proactive. You need to be online in most situations. Put on the alerts. For instance, if you're using a tool like maybe their communication platform is a platform like Slack. If it is a platform where you're doing your communications, could be, for instance, let's say Slack, you're doing Skype. So you can even have that on your phone so that when there is a communication that the communication or a message that I've left you, you'll be able to communicate back as soon as possible so that the client sees you as someone who is really into their job and they'll be impressed. Also, when it comes to that, besides being proactive when it comes to the online platforms, you also need to understand which tools will help your work, make your work easier. So having tools that will maybe assist you. So I think maybe in most cases, it will come from the client side on the tools that they're using. So it's also important for you. Again, I'll still put emphasis understanding those platforms, understanding those project management tools that the client will be using. If it is Asana, if it is Hive, all those platforms, name them. You have to understand those platforms in which they are using for communication. And if anything, I would recommend that you have those platforms on your phone so that you can also get the notification, turn on the push notification so that you can be able to communicate back. And then now when it comes to in written, you should be able to communicate effectively in how you structure your responses, in how you structure your in how you structure your emails. How you communicate is very important. Don't be rude. You, even if you have maybe there is how do you say, maybe there's a miscommunication or misunderstanding, you need to air that out, and you need to maintain that professionalism. So it is very important so that you don't lose track and you build a relationship with this client, so that even when they have, you should be looking, should be focused, looking the future, so that even when they have other projects, you'll come top of mind. They'll know Egline was doing this job well. She was communicating. She did everything right. So you'll be at the top of their mind. So ensure that you don't have any typos. You can even install tools like Grammarly even on your browser. There is Quillbots. You can even check with tools like maybe you've composed your email and you are not sure if it is if you're not so good in written, you can even check with those tools to ensure that it doesn't have any grammatical errors. Nowadays, with the presence of AI-powered tools, you can just even place them on Gemini or ChatGPT. Ask it, check for me the grammar of these emails, or so that you are sending out, or even make it polite. Maybe you don't know you're not so polite in your communication, so you can have that, so that those tools help you retailor it. So it is very important to do the written and the verbal communication. And if anything, silence also is communication. When a client reaches out to you, or they send you work and you are not communicating, silence also is communication. They'll know you are not interested in this job, or not, you are not doing it. But ideally, just try as much as possible to be proactive. And also, in your communication, let them know you are in different time zones if it is possible, so that they can also know about the working holidays, the holidays that you have in Kenya, so that they be able to consider that. So if you have any challenge, it is good to communicate upfront to your clients so that you don't disappoint them, because it is a project for them that they are doing and they want to achieve. So if you incur any challenges, it is very good to communicate, tell them about your challenges and what you're doing to resolve. So that's what I can add. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Egline, for those amazing insights. I mean, you raise a very important point there that right now we can't afford to be lazy or ignorant and say, for instance, I don't know how to use this project management tool, and your client really prefers to use that one, for example, Trello, like you mentioned. So you can always do a quick research on YouTube, on ChatGPT, or whatever AI tool that you're using. To you, Bundi, please take us through that.
Yeah, I think I'll be really brief because Glenn has really touched on the key points that I had in mind. But I would also add that part of good communication skills is practicing active listening. Uh, be able to listen to others and pay attention to their body language, as well as summarize what you've heard to just ensure that you understood what they were able to share with you. And then also develop empathy. Sometimes I find um, very important. Empathy is a very important tool when you put yourself in the client's shoes and try to understand their perspective every time you are speaking with them. It can help to communicate more effectively and build that rapport, which clients are always very much looking for. And then try and improve your writing. Write clearly and concisely, and even your email needs not to be very long and too much details. Be concise and have a very nice way of disseminating that information that you have. And I think Egline has really talked extensively about that. But then maybe finally is to seek feedback. Ask your clients and colleagues and maybe other freelancers for feedback on your communication style. And this is ideally to help you identify uh, the areas that you need to improve and also be able to adjust accordingly. And if you find that there are areas that you're not very competent in, then invest in training. Get into online courses on Atingi, spend time to learn on Atingi and on workshops and webinars like this on communication and how to negotiate.
Thanks, Bundi. Speaking of feedback, we'd also want to know what you think about today's session. I know you've said, some of you have said in the chat that it's great, you're learning a lot, and we'd also like to have this in our records. So please do let us know how this has turned out for you, if you've learned something, and what you think we can improve moving forward. Yeah, it is a very short survey, so please do let us know your feedback on that. Bundi, are there any other soft skills that you'd like to stress on? Any that stand out for gig workers?
Yeah, other than communication skills, we talked about time management being very important, and also being able to communicate your availability. Most of the time, I find the gig workers not being able to really articulate the challenges that they are going through when it comes to delivery of tasks and delivery of projects. There was a very well-known cliche among the online workers that the transformer in my area just burst, the previous night. Yet they know very well it's that they were not able to manage their time very well. So when we talk about soft skills, how you are able to communicate even when there's delay, because sometimes things happen and you really don't have the enough time to complete on a task, but clients will always know when you're lying. So communicate and be genuine and be very honest about it. Then self-motivation and discipline. Working independently will require self-motivation. You don't have a boss who is all constantly asking you, where is the report? Please send me this report. So self motivation and discipline and the ability to set goals and stay focused and reach those goals is very, very important as a gig worker. And being adaptable. Maybe this would be the last soft skill. I know there are many, but maybe being adaptable, because things keep on evolving. Tools that we used in 2019 no longer relevant. Transcription, for example, was very good in 2019. Right now, it's been taken over by artificial intelligence. So how adaptable are you as a freelancer? Are you able to quickly jump on to the next available skill, upskill yourself, and reskill if you need be, and maybe even skill yourself whenever necessary? That's why we have very nice platforms and very nice courses that Doreen has kept on mentioning here, and I feel they are quite relevant to our discussion. And it's high time that everybody takes that opportunity. They are free of charge, and it will also help you to learn about problem solving as a gig worker, which is another important soft skill.
Thanks, Bundi. Speaking of adaptability and onto your previous point, Kenya Power will always be Kenya Power, and not to shame them or anything, but wakifanya ile kitu, you can always check out the nearest cafe, or just if there's a way, or even to your neighbor who has power, and finish your clients' work on time. Anything you'd like to add very quickly, Egline? We are out of time.
Okay, maybe what I can add, a soft skill that you need there is networking. So as much as you're a gig worker, so most of the time you will find you are in your own space, in your own setting, but it is very important to network, go out, be part of such programs, be part of such webinars. You look at what people are talking about, so that you can understand the new trends, you can understand things that are happening in the world. And also always know that there is something that someone knows that you don't know. There's something that Doreen knows that I don't know. So by interacting with them, by interacting with Anthony, Bundi, everybody, somebody will always tell you something new. And even with that network, you are building you're building your network. So that even in situations where Bundi will have a project, he will know there is somebody called Egline. She's a digital marketer. She can help us with this campaign. And also when you go to those networking events, tell people what you do. Always tell people what you do. People will not just know, they'll know you by name, but they'll not know you by what you do. So feel free, sell yourself shamelessly. So just tell people what you do, ask for jobs, but ask them in a respectful way, and focus more on giving value rather than the cost. Show people what the skills that you have and what you will be able to do, and definitely they'll give you the job. Yeah, so that's what I can add when it comes to the soft skills.
I like to say, if people don't know about it, or if people don't know about it, then they don't know about it. So tell people what you do, tell people about yourself. And as Egline says, market yourself out there. As we come close to an end, I would like to, before I jump on to the next question, if you have a question that you'd like to pose to our panel, please drop it in the chat. My colleague Lucy will pick it up in the next few minutes and will be able to respond to you. We also have a feedback survey that is going on. We'd like to know more about how this session went for you, what went well for you, and areas you think we can improve. So please take a few minutes to fill that in. Bundi, if there is a gig worker in the room who's wondering how to succeed as a gig worker in the gig economy, what would you tell them?
Thank you. And I see Caroline has written it on the chat here. Be adaptable. Adaptability is key as a young person first, before you even being a gig worker. one thing that will constantly be very constant, and they keep on saying it's change. So you experience change almost every single day, every minute, and so you need to be adaptable and keep on also addressing change as it comes. And I like the resilience that I see in the Kenyan youth. So we are very agile when it comes to getting new skills. If you are told that there's opportunity on Upwork and all you need is a course, just a skill set, I'm sure you can spend time, you can invest your time to hone that skill, and then get the right kind of mentorship, and be able to join these platforms. It's not rocket science. It's quite easy for you to join Upwork. In fact, it's instant. You just go join, and when you have the right skill, when you have the right mentorship, then you'll be able to start earning a living. And it's but I also need to give you what we call a precaution, that it can also be very addictive. So proceed also with care, so that you cannot be addicted and stay there 24 hours.
Thanks, Bundi. To you, Egline, any insights for gig workers in the room?
Okay. What I'll add from what Bundi has said is, when you get the job, deliver it 100%. Satisfy your client needs. Deliver, deliver, deliver. The thing is, just deliver, and more jobs will come your way. You'll even be recommended, even by your client, to more jobs. So it is very important. Always deliver, 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 and provide value. Other than that, what I can also say is just what Bundia say: investing in yourself. Equip yourself with the skills and get started. So don't procrastinate that I want to be a digital marketer, I want to be a graphic designer, and you are not doing any action. Start by researching, equip yourself with the skills that you need. If you already have the skill, equip yourself. Know what's the latest trends that are happening within that field. Equip yourself with those skills. Do those free courses. Atingi is providing free courses. Equip yourself, learn something, and even it will help you at the end of it. You are not just learning, but also it will help you improve your rate card. Also, network with people. People buy from people. How you will present yourself or even persuade people is very important. So network, build your network, provide value, and deliver 100%. Thank you.
Thanks, Egline. I mean, upskilling will definitely help you stand out from the pool of gig workers, which is growing day by day. As I welcome my colleague Lucy to take us through the Q&A session very briefly. Maybe we may not be able to take all the questions, but we'll take a few of them, and we welcome you to connect with our colleagues, or rather our speakers, Egline and Bundi, on LinkedIn. And in case you have any more questions, you can follow them there, and you can ask those questions there. I also encourage us to fill in the survey. Do tell us how this session went for you, so that we know how to improve moving forward. Over to you, Lucy.
Thank you, Doreen, and thank you, our speakers, Bundi and Egline. We are very glad that we were able to join this session, because it has been very value to us. I like the part you are all insisting on adding value, providing and investing in yourself. And this has been made possible by Kenya through the Atingi courses. So if you're here and you're interested, you could look up on the link on Atingi, and you'll be able to get all the courses that we've been talking about here, in order to equip yourself well. Now, I'll go first to the first question that I saw on the chat. That is from Joseph. Joseph is talking about mental health and well-being. And I understand that gig economy involves a lot of irregular hours, pressure, securing constant work, and that can greatly impact someone's mental health. So maybe I'll direct this question to Egline. Perhaps you could tell us, as a gig worker, how do you manage your mental wellness, especially for a location-based gig worker?
Okay, thank you, Lucy. When it comes to gig work, you'll notice you are your own boss. So definitely, and also as the way Bundi has said, it could be very addictive. You could spend times and hours on your screen or on your desktop in whatever you are doing. So what has really worked for me is being able to manage time, having knowing that exercising 25 doing the work, focusing it on it 25 minutes, then taking 5 minutes break, maybe even just walking outside, coming back, standing, going to the washroom, even moving to the kitchen. That 5 minutes is very important. Then also setting time, knowing that I'll wake up at this time, so maybe dedicate my time, so I'll be working from 8 to 4. Then from 4, what I'll do, I'll personally, I'm not a gym person, but what I'll do, I'll take walks. So I can target, maybe do 10,000 steps every evening. If it is raining or maybe the weather is not friendly, I'll try to do exercises within the room. Then exercising self-care. You see, those are things that make you feel good away from your desktop. If you are someone who loves planting flowers, if you just want to listen to a podcast, doing something that's just out of their normal routine. So exercise, do the walks. If you're a gym person, go to the gym, go outside, touch grass, as the way Elon Musk normally says. It is very important for your mental health. Also, in during the days that you are free, when you don't have a job, take time, connect with your friends, connect with your peers, go out. Also, we've talked about budgeting, so in situations where you have mini vacays, holidays, just have a staycation. Those things will be helpful in the end, because it's never that serious. As much as in your working, also your mental health is very important. So you need to prioritize it always. So thank you.
Thank you so much for that insight. And maybe you have anything to add, Bundi, on the mental health, perhaps?
No, I think Glenn has covered a lot of ground. Maybe the only thing I can add is be part of a community. Ensure that you have accountability partners within the ecosystem whom you're able to share your experiences and encourage each other. Upwork organizes Upwork huddles where freelancers meet within cities, and that is also a very nice opportunity to network and also be able to free up your mind from the daily or the time that you spend on the laptop.
Great. Thank you so much for that. Now, there's another one here by Joseph again. He discovered that there's unmatched competition where most clients are now preferring freelancers from Asia and Philippines and India, that is, to be specific. So as it results, is it as a result of skills? That is the question. How could Kenyan gig workers level up with Asian-based gig workers? And how could the government and other stakeholders like Kenya come in and ensure that gig workers in Kenya level up with the ones in Asia? Egline?
Oh wow, that is
That
really
was
a
a
tricky
mouthful.
question.
Yeah.
But I'll try to just answer what I know. Based on my experience, I think I've also seen that issue when it comes to that competition within the digital platforms. But if in my own analysis, when I look at it, I think it's the issue of pricing. So if you look at it, the gig workers from those mentioned countries, their rates are lower compared to the Kenyan ones. That's in my own experience. If you look at it, even because in some situations where I normally get approached on LinkedIn, I normally see what they are offering is way below. It's so their rates are very low. So, and I think also it's about the issue of maybe the tools or maybe the knowledge that they have there. Maybe the knowledge, or maybe there is that competition again. You see, just the way here in Kenya, maybe we have the issues of unemployment. So also maybe there is a case of unemployment, and then the people are now equipped with the digital skills, and they have known how to navigate, and also the pricing. So for your case as a Kenyan who is competing with such people, I think what I would say is, yes, of course, it will be tough by the time you land an opportunity in such situation. But the thing is, focus when you're communicating now, the communication skills and the negotiation skills that we are talking about is, so you don't have to, again, you have to look at the rates, but don't quote so high that you'll chase away the client. Know your limits, so you can just maybe if it is for them, maybe if it is your limit is $20 per hour or so, and someone maybe the competitors are 15. Then now from there, tell the client about the value, provide value, and when you're given that opportunity, deliver 100%. So again, some clients will go for value rather than just maybe someone who is taking the project at a low cost. So provide value in whatever you are doing, and people will come to you. I think the other one on stakeholder, I think that one I would leave it to you guys. Maybe you are in a better position to do that. But I would just encourage in a personal capacity is equip yourself with those skills and the digital skills that are required, so that you can be better positioned in the world. So thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, Egline. That was quite comprehensive. Thank you, Joseph, for the questions. I hope we have been able to answer them. Next, I'll take a question from Victor, and there are two of them, and these I'll direct them to Mr. Bundi. Does GIZ offer the Trinity in training? That is training, mentorship, and linkages to platforms for the online gig workers. I think maybe you can take that and then, yes.
Yeah, thank you, Lucy, and thank you for asking that question. It's a relevant question. So at GIZ, we are intervening in the gig economy in 3 areas, and one is through skilling of the gig workers, to just get them to understand the courses that we have on Atingi, and also the content that we have developed. And over and above that, we are working with partners to make sure that the workers that have gone through the training are also mentored. So we had a mentorship program, a women mentorship program with the Digital Opportunity Trust, to just make sure that the women are mentored, they are handheld until now they're able to thrive in their skilling, in their digital economy or in their digital careers. What we also intervene on is policies. So we are working at this macro level in instituting policies that are going to create a favorable environment for both the platforms to come in, to come on board in Kenya, and also for freelancers to have that conducive environment to work. So those are the levels that we are working on, and it's very good that you mentioned about training. That's why we are always talking about upskilling on Atingi. That's where you are going to equip yourselves with up-to-date, future-proof skills on the gig economy.
Thank you so much for that. I'll also direct the question to you, the second question that Mr. Victor had. Are there any platforms that GIZ recommends for the same workers, the gig workers that are suitable for Kenyan market?
Yeah, indeed. When you go to the Atingi course, and I've taken a course on essential skills for gig workers, you will see a whole list of links that lead you to recommended sites that we feel this is where you need to register, and that's why I'm encouraging you to go online and take that course. It's free of charge. You're going to see all those courses recommended there, and even guides on how to register on those platforms, and it's going to really help you in really positioning yourself as a gig worker.
Okay. Thank you for that. I hope, Victor, we've been able to cover those questions well. And finally, Egline, what are some of implications of gig economy? George, I don't know how you phrased that question. I think it's a bit ambiguous.
So implications to individuals, businesses, or I don't know, but
let's take it as a whole.
So maybe,
okay.
Lucy, maybe you can give him a chance to unmute and ask a question.
Yeah, sure. George Kafwa, are you here?
He
Could you
says
kindly
individual.
unmute? Individual. What are the
Okay.
implications of a gig economy to an individual?
I think, thank you for that. When it comes to individual, gig economy offers you that flexibility. So you are able to, so it's flexible in different ways. So you are flexible in that you can just specialize in a certain project or certain skills, and also flexibility. It offers flexibility when it comes to time. So you can decide at what time you want to work. You can decide at maybe if it is which organization or which type of niche that you want to focus on. So there is a lot of flexibility in it, and it also gives you that ability to specialize on specific skills. So something that maybe you had heard about it, but it will give you that ability to study for a certain skill and work for that skill. So it comes with a lot of flexibility. You can even work internationally, you can work locally. There is a lot of implications. So as you as a person, and it can also bring maybe the negative impact in one way or another if you don't know how to manage your time. So it's about learning, participating in such spaces so that you can understand what people are doing, knowing what you can do, and also learning from online sources and resources that are available. So thank you.
Once again, thank you so much. I hope we've covered your question well, Mr. George. And from the chat, I cannot see any other question. So if there are more questions, I believe we can always come back. We have our social media platforms, and we can always use that avenue to ask any questions that we may have. This opportunity, I'll give it to Doreen to take us through the closing remarks. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lucy, for the great moderation and the Q&A. I want to appreciate everyone in the room. We were scared that because of the demonstrations, attention would shift and you wouldn't make it here. But I want to appreciate you so much for making time to come today to this event and sharing your insights with us. And a special thanks to our speakers, Egline and Bundi, for sharing with us the amazing insights. In case you're wondering how to access this session, maybe you want to follow up, it will be available on our YouTube channel at .Kenya. I will ensure that everyone who's attended this event gets that recording via email. So be on the lookout for that maybe by end of this week or early next week. Also, we can continue this discussion on social media. Feel free to follow us. I've shared the links in the chat. Check us out at .Kenya on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Digital Opportunity Trust Kenya. And you can also connect with our speakers, Egline and Teresios. They have shared their links, their LinkedIn profiles in the chat. Please follow them there. And if you have questions, you can always ask them there. George, I see your hand is up, but unfortunately we are at the top of the hour. We cannot take any more questions. In case of anything, I know you are a very active follower on social media, so just nudge me on via inbox, DMs, send me a DM or anything, and I'd be able to respond to you. Asanteni sana kwa kuja. Yeah, we've come to the end of our discussion today. Before you leave, you can take like 2 minutes to fill in the survey so that we know how to better cater for this conversation moving forward. We have more upcoming Gig Talks, maybe one next month and the following months. So be on the lookout for that as well. We promise that we are going to have more incredible conversation. Thank you so much. We've come to the end of our discussion today. Goodbye, everyone. You're free to leave.
Thank you and goodbye.
Bye.